going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation, and on this episode we're going to explore some drop D chord voicings. So not only is drop D extremely common, it's extremely fun to play in, and it kind of opens the door to explore new chord voicings, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to look at some power chords and some other extended chord voicings, and we're going to kind of focus on exploring chords around the open string, or D minor, and this way you can play around with that and kind of create some good ideas. Alright, so let's start real simple. We're going to start with power chords. Okay, so we're in a drop D tuning. That means lower your 6th string down one step to D, and what that does, if you're unfamiliar, is if you take your basic power chord shape, say a 3-5-5, and it turns it into 5-5-5, a single bar with your first finger. Right, that allows us to kind of get some nice chuggy type riffs. And so we're just playing a power chord, just a root, a fifth, and an octave. A root again. And that's it. Okay, so let's explore some minor alterations we can do to that. So if we play a whole step above on our D string, so that chord would be 3-3-5. Again, very common chord in a drop D tuning, you'll see it a lot. It's just a sus2, right? You get a nice suspended kind of sound. Let's keep playing with our intervals. If we go up a half step above that, we're going to get a minor third. What does that mean? Well, that's the note that makes it major or minor. So if it's a minor third, guess what? It's a minor chord. Right away you should start weeping inside and feel that sadness. Okay, let's continue up. If I move that one up, we're going to work on our stretch here a little bit wider. So it'll be 3-3-7. That is now a major third, and we get a major chord. Right away you should put a smile on your face and enjoy that happy, bright sound. Really nice and bright, happy sound. So you can apply that to, say, a chord scale just on your low strings and explore those, and you'll probably come up with some nice melodic, smooth voice leading ideas in between them. You know, for instance, we can play a minor on 5 and a major on 3, and that sounds really nice. Like I said, you can play around with that all on your low strings to any chord scale that you feel comfortable with. All right, so now let's start expanding our chords a little bit. If you're not familiar with it, we have a big drop D power chord. I like to consider it's just a big extended power chord, right? So if I play open, 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 2-3, that's just a big power chord, and that's movable all the way up. All right, so if we play that, it's just root, fifth, root, fifth, root. So again, it's just a big power chord, and it's extended. It sounds a little thicker. It sounds a little bigger, right? It sounds really nice. Okay. Another thing you can play around with, say, on your chord scale with, just play power chords all over the place, without implying major or minor, or maybe one of those sounds that doesn't fit what you're trying to write. Okay? Now, most of us are probably familiar with an open position D chord. Okay? In this chord, the major third is up top. Okay, so that's why it's a major chord, because that note right here. We can play the 3rd fret or the 5th fret in relation to that, and you can get, again, power chord, or a suspended 4th. Sound. That sounds really nice. We have our major, and then we have lower that one by a fret on the 1st fret, and you get minor. And it's always kind of fun to play those chords with your low strings open and ringing out. You can create a nice drone in, say, D major or D minor, and explore some notes on the higher string, which is what we're going to do right now. So one thing that I like to do is that we can take this chord and just move the triad up on the same string set. So we have 2, 3, 1, minor. I can move that in the 5th position, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we get a kind of wider register because these notes are higher. And now we can do the same thing in 10th position. Okay, you get a nice wide register between all those notes. And that basically means the space between your low notes and your high notes. If they're far apart, you have a wide register. Okay, so that's a fun way to explore some ideas, and you can explore. Right? Really nice. And so what I like to do is, particularly this 5th position, is add that open E string instead of the 5, lift it open. Really nice chord voicing, because what I like about it is you get the tension between the E and the F. Half step apart from each other. Sounds really nice. Okay, you can also play some sus or suspended type voicings, right? We can come in the 3rd position and play either 5-3-5 or 5-3-3. And you can do the same thing up in 8th position. Again, this is kind of relative to D. Chord voicings there as well. So again, I like to do this. Really nice chord voicings there. So we can take this kind of power chord that we talked about before, big bar chord, and move your pinky down. So now I would say 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 3. And what that does is if we move away the low strings and just focus on the higher strings, you kind of get a root, 5th, 7th, and a 9 kind of sound there. So you get kind of this major 9 sound. And it sounds really nice with these chords. And then we could take that voicing and we could take the 2 fingers, our ring and our pinky, drop it down a string. So now it's 3, 3, 5, 5, 3, 3. And that's essentially a suspended chord from your root on your A. Just putting that note on the bottom. Again, that sounds really nice. So I can sit here and strum these chords. Sound really nice. Let's see, some other chord voicings I like. When you play, say, D minor, a common chord movement is the move from D minor to, say, B flat. Right, you get this. Again, just it's a common chord movement that sounds really nice. So we can kind of adapt that to, say, this voicing we played before, and grab the B flat now, which is now on 8. So I have 8, skip my A, open D. And I get this B flat major 9 voicing, which sounds really nice. Another cool voicing that I like is a minor 9 chord. This voicing, you see this a lot. You can play, we'll play G minor 9, so it's 5, 3, 6, 5, all 4 fingers. It's a little awkward if you haven't played it before. But since this note is on the D string, I can just drop that down and play it on the low string, or I can bar, kind of play a power chord in that essence right there, right? So I can mix those chords around. Sounds really nice, and all those chords sound really, really nice together. All right, so Really nice to mix in the minor or the major with some of those suspended voicings, and they sound really nice. All right. Just some bonus chords that I like to play. You can play a nice D major chord like this. That's open, open, 4, 7, 7, open. Another one you can play. That's a really nice chord voicing as well. It's more of a major 7 voicing, so it's open, open, 4, 6, 3, open. A nice major 9 sound again. If you notice that I've been using a lot of major 9s in a lot of these chords, right? They mix very well with suspended chords, and they make nice extensions just to give it a slightly different color than what you're used to. So I hope you enjoyed these chord voicings and you can put them to use. The link for the tabs can be found in the description below. And as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.